Well, hello there. Welcome everybody, and actually here for a very special occasion. Not just anything, but here to like be a part of greatness. All of that, what they say, black girl, magic, and a full support of what I call an entrepreneur that is on the rise, multifaceted, and one that people should really look out for. And once again, in the style of True Miss Abam here, highlighting global Africans as it relates to what they do. But this is a very special edition, not on my own platform, but one with a true author, writer, consultant, and so much more who has began on her journey, or she had already begun years ago in her journey of creating her story with the world. Basically, what she does is bringing about the stories that change people's lives so that you can get independence, that you can get true ownership, that you could really be on that place of conquering, as they would say. And that's why I'm delighted to be a part of this. She has her books out. That is definitely one. Yes, books. She has a novel out. She has one that gives a good view on what it means to be, stuck between powers or within the rule of power and all of that. She is going to explain to that more about it to us in a bit. Before I introduce her, this is a talk with a very let's say a renowned person that I am yet to announce who is yet to address some of the points within her journey that she went through and that she would really like to share with the world. It's the start. You always have to start somewhere, but as you start somewhere and continuously build, you will be able to grow, you'll be able to expand, and so much more. Anyway, she's a corporate governance expert, author, writer, financial analyst, and business consultant. She is the CEO of Meverly Adjhei Benjamin Consultancy BV, based in the Netherlands, The Hague. Of course, with her multicultural background, she has made it her mission to really be in response of people of color and making sure that they understand what it takes to manage your lifetime and finances and gain the independence as well, because that is a whole another thing. So much to talk about her bicultural background, of course, her multilingual language that she possesses to help and to boost, especially people of color. Well, let's get it started before I make the introduction too long. Let's welcome Meverly Adjhei Benjamin. Let's go.
Hi,
Hello, Benjamin.
good evening.
Meverly Adjhei Benjamin. How are you?
I'm fine, thank you. And how are you?
I am also good. Definitely from
Okay.
this
Thank
place
you
of
for having me
Dubai.
today.
Yes, yes, it's a delight, and I know we are like randomly on a day, going live, but it's not just for any reason, and we will be going to talk about that in a bit, as more will be catching up with us on the live streams. First and foremost, I would really like to know how is Meverly doing? How is the entrepreneur, the one who is so busy, with her businesses? How is you?
How is me? Yeah. How is me? That's actually the first person who is asking me this month because this pandemic is quite taking a bit, and
Right.
I'm a business entrepreneur, a startup to be
Yeah.
precise. I write books. I'm also doing another study next to this. And
Yeah.
then next to all that,
Study.
yeah, another study. Stay
Oh,
tuned.
wow.
I'm going to tell you more maybe about it.
Right.
Yeah, I'm also a single mom. So combining all this, not be able to work full time because I have a child to pick up at 3 p.m. every day, except
Yeah.
for days. But yeah, and then trying to make a living, writing my books, being on social media. I don't really like it, but okay.
Yeah.
Being on social media also and doing all the multitask is it's getting it's quite here a bit at the moment,
Yeah.
but I'm trying to manage, and hopefully we are gonna be out of this soon. But
Yeah.
next to that, I'm doing okay. Just the corona kilos I need to get off, but yeah, I'm doing fine.
Yeah. Yeah, I can definitely relate to that. It's been a whole shift. But I guess for you, it's also kind of accepting that this entrepreneur life is rather your thing than working full time, right? Because you come from corporate.
Yes.
You've done the full time work and you've been able to master that. But it's just that, you felt that it was time to go for another route.
Yeah, it was time that I need to find something that fulfills my dreams, my expectations, what I
Yeah,
had in life. Having this corporate name on your CV is very nice. Your family members are like, oh, she works at the bank and stuff. But at the end of the day, you're like, it doesn't fulfill what I really want in life. I'm not, the pay is good. You got regular hours.
yeah,
You're just doing what you're being told to do, but you're
yeah.
not getting the most of it. And that's what I was missing out, to be honest.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Got
like I said
it.
in one of my interviews before, it just took one day to decide, something is not what I want. I didn't have
Yeah,
any backup plan and stuff. But I've said that already, but
yeah.
don't follow my leads. Don't.
But you did, and in this case, I don't think that you regret it. I would say that you are progressively making strides.
Yeah. I don't regret a bit, to be honest. I'm
Yeah,
very happy I did take that decision. As a startup, it is quite hard at times, to make ends meet, or you're expecting a special business deal, and at the long run, it didn't work out. It took you hours and stuff. But, you need to look at the brighter side, and you need to, like I always say and always keep on saying in one of my blogs, you need to know where you're going to. If you're still in line into what you really want in life, then I don't think it should be a problem if you sometimes miss out of a business. If you're still in line on your purpose,
yeah,
doing what you're supposed to do.
yeah, yeah. Gotcha. So tell us, before we go and start about the main reason why we're here, tell us a bit about your journey starting out in this entrepreneur life. Of course, a few years ago, you wrote a book. Could you a bit take us back as to how that journey really started, and interestingly, also how you made the step from corporate to this business life that you are currently in?
Yeah, thank you for the questions. I'm gonna start with first things first about the book.
Sure.
How did I get to writing a book?
Yeah,
Uh, I didn't even know that I was able to write a book. I didn't even knew that I could read a whole lap of text. You of course you can. You write teasers and stuff. Yeah, but that's not a book. I was like
yeah,
writing a whole storyline about someone who felt that he had any hope,
yeah.
care, or dare dreaming, or didn't
Hmm.
have any motivation in thoughts to live on this earth anymore. So writing a book and putting the emotions attached to it, that was quite hard.
Yeah,
Most likely because the book was about me.
yeah,
Not to be that emotional, and not to be able to, or not to write down the book in one perspective. I wanted
yeah,
to have that book out for everybody, not
yeah,
just for, feminism, or being
yeah,
feminist and stuff. No, I didn't want to do that. I wanted to bring out a book that will be bringing hope and faith, and
yeah,
breaking boundaries. To rekindle the thing you always wanted to pursue in life, and that's really the aim of this book. And that was the aim when I was done writing. It actually helped myself as well to to be able to be helpful in times of trouble. uh
yeah.
yeah, been through some stuff like a divorce,
Hmm.
quite toxic family, toxic relationships, situations what weren't really beneficial into my future.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
it took a very bold step to break out of it.
Hmm.
The society, like what's going on with Meghan Markle, the society will disapprove every step you take,
Yeah,
saying that, she isn't good, she's evil, trying to take Harry away, those kind of
yeah,
trouble. Yeah, that's the same thing I was going through, but only I didn't have Harry next to me. It was me and my son.
It was a
It was just
different
me. Yeah.
royal story.
Yeah. So that's the period I wrote the book, when I
Right.
was one leg out, one leg in. What do I mean by that? I was almost out of my divorce, but yet I was still in it, because we live in an African culture whereby a divorce is bad. It is bad. I'm not bad, bad was bad. It doesn't look good on you. Let me put it like that. It doesn't look good on you. So the
Okay.
fact that you get divorced, you'll be looked down by the society or the community. Not necessarily the society, the community, the Black African Ghanaian community.
Yeah.
So that moment, I needed to be strong, because that by biting, the gossiping can kill you.
Hmm.
It really can do. It can destroy your spirit. It makes you lose hope, lose faith, even lose sight of life. So
Yeah.
that was so when I really was out of the marriage, that was in 2017, I started writing the book. It started
Right.
with memorizing all the things I've been through, having a diary and stuff, and putting emotions. It was very important that, when you read the book, My Dream, you
Yeah.
need to be able to feel the emotions, the pain that a
Hmm.
person goes through. But at the end of the day, you need to know that it will all be sorted out one day. That's really
Yeah.
the aim of the book, that
Right.
rekindle that faith, the pursuit of your happiness,
Yeah.
what I was aiming for, and God willingly, I succeeded.
Right. All right. So it really looks as if that book, which by the way, I have here my copy, by the way, which is My Dream, which is that first one,
Yeah,
which by the way, you will be bringing out the new batch of this book. So why could you tell us why was this book so important for you to write?
it made me close a chapter in my life.
Hmm.
Now, sometimes when you go through certain situations, if you don't watch out, you will never forgive a person or a group of people that have hurt you the most, that
Right.
try to kill your dream. And that's when hatred started coming in, trying to do something back, having that revenge kind of feeling. And I didn't want to
Yeah.
be like that. I didn't want to lose myself just because of what I've been through.
Yeah.
What did happen to me is that it made me very hard, a very thick
Toughen you up.
shield. Yeah, a very thick shield covered me up, and sometimes now I do recognize that in business I don't really want to show my emotions and stuff, because I don't want to be emotionally attached to certain situations, but it
Cool.
comes from somewhere. So sometimes I'll be like, okay, I need to calm down a bit. It's nothing personal, but
Yeah.
that's the impact that it had on me.
Yeah.
Was I wasn't like that, but every bad side have its good side. Sometimes in business you need
Yeah.
to party, because the business I'm in is it's not a female world to be in. I'm
Right.
dealing with legal work, I'm dealing with corporate law, I'm doing finances, so I need to be quite hard in it. But those are the side effects of what happened to me by writing this book. Most of the side effects, the feelings I was having, I just closed the chapter. I was like, it happened.
Yeah.
It
Yeah.
happened, and you just writing this book to help other people. If you are in this situation, what I did wrong, you can rectify it. So it's
Yeah.
also a book of that, giving you guidance through a hardship in life, whether if
Yeah.
it's divorce or breakup, losing your job, or something that is so attached emotionally to you that you don't know how to deal with it, and you're having that kind of sadness that you can't even come out of it anymore. Those
Yeah.
kind of feelings. So hopefully, My Dream, what is also called with the Ghanaian logo, Ejinyame.
Yeah.
Uh, what means that means only God. And why
Right.
only God is like only God can provide that kind of satisfaction, or
Yeah.
having that kind of release out of that kind of emotional stress a person
Yeah.
goes through.
So it was really an outlet, connecting it to what you had been through and who you are as an individual, as a
Yeah,
mother, as a woman, and really bringing it out into one book.
true.
Um, so one thing that you did in this book is that you connected it to the leading character, which is Esther,
Yeah,
and you write the story, starting from a London hospital and then ending up in the heart of the Middle East. Quite of a different route.
that's true.
And probably you could say, take us through the decision for that. Why did you take on just a bit of different characteristics for your leading character?
No, what I didn't want, oh, sorry. What I didn't want is
Hectic
having the,
life.
yes, sorry, having that feeling that I'm
Right.
talking about somebody. I
Mm-hmm.
wanted to change the scenarios a bit, so that you will not be. I didn't want to hurt anybody during this during this writing of this book.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so what I needed to do is change the scenarios so that it will not lead back to the people
Yeah.
I was describing in my book.
Yeah.
Though you need to tell you that the different scenarios I took, they're all true stories based
Okay.
upon somebody else's story.
Mm-hmm.
So
Right.
the book is totally nonfiction, but it's
Yeah.
not all about me. But
Right.
like I said, it is some parts, the emotions that
Yeah.
created in the book, it's all me.
Mm,
Yeah.
right. So it's a real life story, connected to a character that people can relate with.
Yes.
Right. So there we are, My Dream, which was in first instance was released in 2017, if I'm to be correct. And your journey went on writing, and then you took a whole different turn, which wasn't as emotional, let's just say, but another book that really took on a financial turn, as we would say, Chaos of Brexit.
Yeah.
Take us a bit into that book, why it came about, and why you felt it was really the time to release at that moment.
Um, At that moment, when I was writing The Chaos of Brexit, also called The Majority Carries the Vote, it's supposed to be called actually The Majority Carries the Vote, but that was the time that the Brexit thing was going on and people didn't know what to do.
Yeah,
And it was like, we are in, we are out. And I was like, that's a chaos. So I called it then after the chaos that was going on in the United Kingdom. And I call it
yeah,
The Chaos of Brexit. That's on the title. But the main title is The Majority Carries the Vote. So the
right.
reason I started writing this book is that um, the circle of friends or the circle of people and the situations that I was currently in, like with the politics, and I was not in politics, but the situation had effect on people, and it was affecting me as well. But then it's like you have people that follow each other to make a decision,
Yeah,
and that's one thing I dislike. Everybody's you basically are born by yourself, or you come out by yourself, and you come alone in this world. So why is it that a certain group of people, when they say something without you even thinking about or having a reason about it, you just take it?
right.
And you see it in this different kind of communities, you see it in
Hmm.
different kind of people, certain groups. I call them actually sects. That's like group of people that convince, or not even convince, dominion people to do.
Yeah,
So what you see is that people follow as sheeps, and I just dislike that. Like the older generation, I'm going back to the African older generation.
yeah,
And like my mom will be calling me and asking me, "Oh, Meverly, have you heard that this and this happened?" I was like, "Okay, so this and this happened, but have you done your own research?" No, it
right.
is Mr. Hippler Hippler Hip said it, so it must be true. That's not something that we should do. We are an enlightened group of people. We are the 21st century, so we need to sit down, do our own research, and make our own or form our own opinion. So
Hmm.
that is the reason I wrote this book, that people need to reason up and to start thinking about is it right that certain things happen or certain decisions are made about me? So you
Yeah.
can see that, like in this corona pandemic, I've been writing a lot of my blogs about, is it right that the government is teaching us to do such a thing? Is it right that the government is leading us to this path? Or is the information we are getting the right information? I'm not saying that they are lying. No, that's
Hmm.
not what I'm saying. But some things, when I sit down and think about it and research about, I'm like, it doesn't make sense. So what is the
Yeah.
main aim of doing certain things like this?
Yeah.
Like now, all hairdressers and contact, you know, um, uh, workers, people who work with their hands, nail fashionists and
Yeah.
makeup people and all those kind of people are now working. But
Yeah.
um, the daycare is closed.
Hmm.
That makes sense. So,
Yeah.
for instance, if I'm a hairdresser and the daycare is closed and I have a child,
Yeah.
obviously after 3 o'clock I need to leave there, or before 3 o'clock I need to leave there to take my child.
Sure. Yeah.
So it doesn't have any common sense. It doesn't make sense. You
Hmm.
know, try to open the daycare first so that people working in those
Yeah.
facilities, can be able to work, because you come in at 9 o'clock because the daycare before doesn't open, because you have daycare in the morning and you have daycare after school. So you
Hmm.
come there because the schools open, most of them 8:30. You come at your work around 8:30,
Yeah.
around 9 to 9:30. You need to leave there around 2 o'clock to be on time to cater for your child.
Yeah.
So what are you doing actually? You could just close, because for that
Hmm.
4.5 hours, how many people's hair can I cut?
Yeah.
Like two or three? What have I
Yeah.
earned? 100 euros or what? 60 euros or something before taxes. So when I remove the taxes, I will be earning what, 35?
Yeah.
And then you need to calculate your transport as well. So what
Hmm.
did I earn? So I
Yeah.
was sitting there on my feet for 4.5 hours earning what, 25 euros? Doesn't make
Right.
sense. So those are the things that I discuss, not in this context, this is an example,
Yeah.
in Chaos of Brexit.
Yeah. Right. So basically, what you do in that book is you challenge people to take another look at what they go through and what kind of environment they are, from a very broad point, almost
Yeah,
political, to converting that into a personal, financial step ahead, if I'm to be
yeah,
correct.
yeah, because I want people to use to make impactful and meaningful decisions in their
Right.
lives.
Right.
Not because my neighbor is doing it, I'm also going to do it. No, we are
Yeah.
different. We
Yeah.
have different DNA.
Yeah. Absolutely understood. So let's look at chaos of Brexit. Of course, people would think like, okay, this is only concerned people that are based in the UK. For who is it for? That particular book.
I wrote this book in English. Why? Because I wanted to do it in international publishing,
Yeah,
and I wanted everybody to understand the language I'm writing. And English is one of the main languages spoken in the world, next to French and Spanish,
yeah,
Italian a bit, and Chinese upcoming. Yeah,
yeah.
so that's the reason I wrote it in English. So it's not only based for people based in the UK. I myself, I'm based in the Netherlands. I'm based
Right.
in Den Haag. So it's not only for people based in UK, but I relate things most often to the UK because, yeah, that's the English spoken language near the Netherlands.
Yeah.
I'm also based in UK at times. I'm both countries actually, but next to that, yeah.
Yeah.
So those are the
Yeah.
two the main country I write about. I don't know a lot about the American system or the Australian to base my book or to base my stories about it. But what I did in
Yeah.
the case of Brexit, I also mentioned some parts of South Africa, what happened with the Vrijheidsstrijders. Nelson Mandela took him as one of the main subjects in the book,
Yeah.
discussing what and who he really is,
Yeah.
and his impactful decision meant and what it also brought to the country.
Hmm.
So it is quite a challenging book. You need to use your brain a bit to understand what I'm
Yeah.
trying to say and where I'm heading to.
Hmm.
say that if you don't have patience, you can't do it. But you need to
Yeah.
you need to be ready to read and understand. It's not like a book of for like my son 5 years old book about bicycles and cars and stuff.
Yeah.
It's a bit deep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Got it. So looking at then, because the exact year when you released Chaos of Brexit was in which a specific year that you released the first edition of Chaos of Brexit?
That was in October 2019.
Right.
October,
Right.
November 2019. Yeah.
So we
I
are, yeah, so we are 3 years along now. And having a look at that book, what can you say of the some of the new observations that you've made as it relates to that particular topic?
very accurate book. It's
Hmm.
like I was ahead of time. Uh,
Right.
yeah, I really feel like I was ahead of time. It's like I've made some prognosis about it. I've said some things, but I was like, how did I knew this? Or how did I know that certain events would happen in the UK? I was like I was forecasting things. So uh,
Right.
quite happy
Hmm.
that it is out, and
Yeah.
hopefully it's going to make the impact on
Hmm.
what it's supposed to do.
Yeah.
Uh, it's not just that I wrote it in a certain period, so it's only meant for that period. No, I wrote it really because it is a book that will be continue and hopefully will be read back by
Yeah.
our grandchildren. Like what happened with the chaos of Brexit? Why did we left the AU? Questions like that will pop up about a year five or something like that.
Yeah.
We're not even
Yeah.
actually really out of it yet. It's gonna take another year,
Yeah.
but
Yeah, I
basically,
do think so.
yeah, basically about 95% they're out.
Right. Right. Looking at your journey, because one would ask, normally when it comes to writing a book, being relatively younger, they think of professors bringing out a book or, their favorite motivational speaker or their pastor that has brought out a book. But it doesn't happen maybe often to some, seeing young ladies having brought out a book. How does that even work? How did you get to just do it like that and just be okay? I'm bringing out two books. What was the journey of actually bringing out something up until now? How was that like?
Surprising. They'll be like, "Oh my days, you're black. Oh, okay, you're a woman. Oh my God, you're a single mom. How do you do that? Have you really read the book, or did somebody else write it for you?" That's the
Yeah,
comment every day. Every
yeah,
day, it's like, "Are you sure this book is yours? Because it's quite good." And you are quite pretty for an author. I was like, our author's ugly then. But those are the silly and the most
yeah,
um how do you say that? It's almost demeaning, like how is it not able that a black girl that is pretty, has the brains, can write a book, and not only in a book that is knowledgeable, like the chaos of Brexit, but also my dream, that is quite romantic,
hmm,
passionate, it has a storyline, like a bit adventurous and stuff. So how can you write that and also write that? It's like, yeah, I told him. And most of the times the things I say is that, no, yeah, you have it and or you don't have it. It is
hmm,
um how do you say that?
yeah,
I got a lot to offer. Let me
right,
put it like that. And
right,
this is one the creator gave me, that I'm quite talented in more things that
mhm,
I can do. So
yeah,
today I was talking to you actually about how I can manage the things better, because I can see that I'm going different places, but you need to be able to manage it properly. That it's not going to be some half work that I'm providing in each corner or in each facet of the things I'm delivering. So I want to be able to manage it properly. Sometimes you need to
right,
look for that. So
yeah,
yeah, those are the things, or those are the most comments I get, and
Mm.
they'll be like, especially our Ghanaian community, like, is she really
Yeah.
a Ghanaian? Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
really a Ghanaian. But the comments I most often I get over from people who find that out that I'm writing a book, and not only that, I haven't had my doctoral degree or something, but that I'm
Yeah.
already going to that level. Is
Yeah.
they're quite fascinated actually.
Got it.
My
In the
mom
meantime,
doesn't really believe it. Next to that,
sorry
my mom doesn't really still believe it, but okay.
that you really published a book. Wow. Wow. That
Doesn't
is
really
really
believe
interesting.
that. She has the
uh,
bridge. She will be looking like, okay, so this is my daughter.
yeah. Yeah. It's a reality check.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, I can imagine. I can imagine. Well, it's slightly picking up because as this is, streaming live, of course, this will be ready to be revisited by people. It's like after some minutes, people start showing up, and that's kind of what is happening. A shout out from Yasika, who's saying, "Good day, ladies." She is listening from Ghana. So shout out to Yasika for listening. If you do pass by, we're having a talk with Meverly Adjhei Benjamin, who is an author, financial consultant, amongst others. And we are discussing her books that she has out. Because next week, on her website, the relaunch, or let's just say the new batch will be made available, which you can order there, amongst other things that you could find Meverly Adjhei Benjamin for. So this is really a talk to find out, what goes on in the mind of this entrepreneur, of this young one, really governing her day-to-day business. What does it take? And of course, really finding out how do you get that book finally out there. Beverly, could you share with us? You had your books out and in everything. Could you take us a bit in the life of a writer slash a financial consultant? How does a day with you look like, and when does the writing exactly happen?
Okay. My day is never the same. I wake up in the morning, do thank God, for a new day. I do have a planning what needs to be done. Like sometimes I have targets, like writing a business plan, follow up with lawyers, because I'm also doing legal work, because I'm a barrister.
Right.
And also being a bookkeeper, so I need to contact my business partners. How is it going with the bookkeeping of this and this? What do I need to do? And creating new contracts. Money needs to come in every day. So those
Sure.
are things that I usually do. But
Hmm.
then suddenly you get a call that it's an urgency that I need to have a lawyer right now, or I need to have a bookkeeping done right now because I have 2 days to do my bookkeeping because the tax
Yeah.
office is giving me like 1 week, and obviously people will be calling the last 2 days or the last day. So those are things like every day, like really every day I have like basically I have urgent calls that I need to do.
Hmm.
So what I do is, how do I manage my time? In the morning, I quite before 11. I try to finish what I need to do, what was already on the agenda.
Yeah.
After 11 to 1 o'clock, I will be trying to take on the emergency calls, the urgent emails, and try to be posting as well on
Yeah.
social media. Next to that, from 1 to almost 2:15, I'll be trying to write a blog or do
Hmm.
a podcast, do some small research on a podcast or writing a blog. So if I don't finish, I need to continue after 4 o'clock. When no, not after four, actually after seven, because then my son
Hmm.
is asleep.
Yeah.
So after seven, then I need to continue finishing the blog or the podcast. And if I'm writing a new book, that will be around 10 to 11 o'clock in the
Hmm.
night.
Hmm.
So basically, sometimes I'll be awake for like 24 hours. Then I need a Red Bull to keep me moving because
Right. Yeah.
well, I need to
Yeah.
keep going. That's quite hard sometimes as a solid entrepreneur. You don't have anybody near you, but thank
Yeah.
God I have an intern at now because it was too
Yeah.
much sometimes, especially during Christmas. I was like, where is this coming? You had the whole year to contact me, and you're all calling me one day before Christmas.
Now, yeah,
Yes. So
exactly.
now I do have an intern. So I'm registered now as a company that also can have interns from
Yeah,
MBA to university.
yeah.
So that is quite helpful because I'm still in my startup phase. That's what I
Oh,
found. Yeah, I found that I'm still in my startup phase. You need to be frank with yourself. Every business has 4 stages. You have a
yeah,
startup, the maturity, the renewal, and the decline.
right.
And I'm still in my startup. I'm not there where I want to be in my business.
Mm-hmm.
I
Yeah,
stay. I'm still growing, and I think I've given myself like 1 to 3 years to do the startup phase.
yeah.
And if I'm not there yet, I'm not satisfied yet.
Got
So
it.
there's
Yeah,
some goals that I need to get. I'm a bit
yeah.
tough on myself. I do know that. So you don't have to tell me that. I know I'm very tough on myself. Yeah,
I
but
understand.
if you have these aims done, then I'll be like, okay, I'm mature now. I can go to the next phase.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah,
I'm a startup, and I now have interns, that help me around with small things that
yeah.
needs to learn, like the small administration, like after every consultation that needs to be registered, what I had in that consultation and what was
Mm-hmm.
discussed, those kind of administrational works and
Yeah,
more legal works attached to that.
yeah.
And keeping and all the rest, I keep on doing it myself because I don't want any mistake to be done in that.
Right.
So, because, yeah, all you don't want is that your intern does it, and then later on you need to rectify everything 2 times the
Yeah,
hours. So that doesn't make sense.
I
So
understand.
I'm quite hands on as well, and my intern does notice. No, and like every sentence needs to be with a capital letter. You end with it. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's me. I'm
That's
quite
really the legal advising, right? It requires precision.
yes,
Yeah, within legal advising, I would say that, people in the legal tend to be very specific. So
yeah,
it's not you, it's the industry. That would probably be it.
yeah,
Um, because I'm thinking of your journey so far and having gone through, writing and bringing about your book. Now you're actually bringing out a new set of, let's just say, a new edition of both The Dream and
yeah.
Chaos of Brexit. It's available again. It's finally out there in people's reach. Could you tell us about your journey until now, and really what you are looking forward to in terms of your books and what you want people to know? Really, the core of your story.
So now, basically, I am a self-publisher. So
Mhm.
Meverly Adjhei Benjamin consultancy firm, BV, is also a publisher at this moment. So I publish my own books. Obviously, as every author, you want to be published by one of the big one, like the Harvard and the
Yeah,
Granite House and stuff. The Penguins and the big firms. But at this moment, I'm a self-publisher, and I hope that with this self-publishing, I will be able to get the goals I want to have with this book. Uh,
yeah,
it was quite exciting, this journey. I had help from my PR manager, and
right.
it was quite great because we had some slight changes in the book. We now have a hard copy, and you can all get it on my website www.meverlyadjheibenjamin.com. We will do. You can even calculate your shipping costs and everything. It's all included. So
Yeah,
it's great. I'm happy. And what I'm also very happy about is that I'm going to be a brand. So next to that publishing, that my name will also be registered as a brand in this. So that,
beautiful.
it is a real thing. Like,
Yeah,
the penguins. So
yeah, yeah,
it
absolutely.
is great. It's a nice journey. You need to have a lot of patience.
Hmm.
And that's something sometimes I find hard.
Yeah.
You want it today, you want it
You want
now.
your dreams, right? You want things to be done already,
Yes,
get it going.
yeah, because I don't want to have the feeling that I'm stagnating. Yeah, I need to have the feeling that
Right.
I'm moving on. So
Yeah.
sometimes, when it's delayed a bit and you'll be like, Why is it delayed? I did
Yeah.
ask it on time. Such
Yeah.
things, but you need to have patience in this process. It's very important to have
Mm-hmm.
patience
Yeah.
and believing in this process as well. If you don't believe, don't start.
Yeah.
You just gotta waste your time and your money.
Yeah, absolutely. That's really what part of the entrepreneurial road. Before we leave off, there is an interesting story that I would like for you to share because your books do revolve around, what you do as, an individual, being of a multicultural background, also being a financial consultant, and also being about your business. And one of the interviews that you shared at Venture Cafe, one was really about that moment when you knew, okay, this is my time to do business, and you really made a sudden move. Could you share that a little bit more so that people could like know of how you made the bold step of really starting your business?
Um, the bold step on how I created my business, it was basically I was in a toxic workplace whereby I couldn't do what I wanted to do. I couldn't achieve what I wanted to do. And on early stages, I got to know that this is it. I'm not getting anything more or anything
Yeah.
less. This is it. I was asking myself, so am I going to be able to do this coming 40 years? No, I can't.
That's a long time.
No, I can't. Or I'm gonna lose it. And I was on the oath because I wasn't working at a special department at the bank. So it was either I'm gonna lose it or I'm gonna make a mistake and I'm gonna get fired.
Right.
So one day I woke up very early. I went to my workplace and I was looking around, looking at everybody. I was like, oh my, how long am I going to take this? And it was like 2 days before I was moving or I was going to Ghana on holidays. I stood up, I went to my manager, told her, I can't do this anymore. It's over. I'm bringing my resignation letter. Really, like that. Just
Wow.
it's not that I woke up the morning and planned to do that. No, I was in the workplace working on this file wherever I was like, even if I'm gonna hand it in because I'm telling them the truth, they don't want to hear the truth. They want them
Yeah.
and they want me to follow a certain protocol, so that it
Yeah.
will look good for them. So I was like, no, I can't do that. I can't lie and I
Yeah.
can't do what you asked me to do because I'm not the protocol type of person. I'm
Yeah.
multi-talented. So why do I need to accept this kind of things? So that was the day I told her I can't do it anymore. And I took my bag and I left.
Hmm.
I went back home. I cried. Oh, I cried that day because I was like, gosh, I just quit my job. How am I gonna pay for my bills? How am I gonna take care
Yeah.
of myself, take care of my son? So,
Yeah.
but then the next day I was like, okay, what do I have? This society quite often make you think that if you don't have a 9 to 5 job, you're not going to aim or you're not going to get anything in life.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I said to myself, let me go to my holidays, have a good think about it, and come back and face the reality.
Hmm.
So I went on holidays, came back in January, and I was like, what's next? So I had an appointment with the registration office to register my company. How did I came that I need to open a company? I need to do something. I can't go back to the bank. So I was like, okay, let me open a business. I'm good in
Yeah.
giving advice. So why don't I just open an advisory thing? Maybe
Yeah.
it maybe bring me some money to pay my bills. My
Right.
first 2 jobs, that was before the corona. I got huge deals the first 2, and I was like,
Right.
wow, this is what I was going to earn if I worked a whole year. So
Right.
that's the moment I thought, now I'm good at this. That
Yeah.
gave me the confidence, the boldness to go on, even though there was corona, no corona. Yeah, I can make it. If
Yeah.
I can do this, then I can
Yeah.
conquer everybody and everything. So that
Yeah.
was my real motivation in this, having the faith in myself and the hope that if it doesn't work out, it won't work out. If it works out,
Yeah.
it works out. It is like I gave it all up. So, and I had the faith in um believing in myself, believing in Christ, that, something, I don't have anything to do, at this moment. I don't have any income, can pay for my bills. So it's up to you.
Yeah.
That was really my setting at that moment. And I was like, okay,
Yeah.
what am I going to do? The next day I woke up, started working on my business, trying to make some contacts, those kind of links and stuff. And it worked out.
Yeah.
It worked out. It sometimes it just take that no, just one no for you to create it into a yes, because I was told, you can't be a manager. You need to like have 15 years experience. I'm like, what did I do my master's for? If
Yeah.
I have 15 years of experience, you don't have your master's, but you have 15 years of experience. I'm like, no, I'm not going to do that. So
Yeah.
if that's going to take me 15 years, I think in 15 years, I will be somewhere else.
Yeah.
So that was really my motivation to start the business
Yeah.
and not to give up, because, and there was nothing to lose anymore anyway, because I already lost my job. So
Yeah.
there was nothing to lose anyway. So that's,
Right.
what can I lose? My
Right.
job? No, I don't have it.
So how
So
did it go with your ending term? Like, because normally you have a month before you can like properly leave. Did you like request for your leaving hours, or how
no,
did that work?
it was like, 2 days before time, I was already going on holidays for a month. So
Right, right.
obviously, so when you have that leaving term, it's going to be in my holidays. So I'm not coming back.
Right, you're basically not coming back. That's it.
Coming back. So what's the leaving term?
Right.
You want me back after my holidays? Yeah. What do you think I'm going to do then? I'm not going to
Yeah.
work. I'm not motivated to do the work. So if I'm
Yeah.
not motivated, you need to let me go. Yeah, it's as simple as that. I'm not
Yeah.
motivated. You're going to pay me for a whole month because
Right.
I'm waking up every day to come and sit there.
Yeah.
Think I'm
Yeah.
gonna I'm not gonna do two. I'm not even gonna do one file for you
Right.
because I'm not motivated. And
Yeah.
that's it is a bad habit, but it has some positive vibes about it. If I'm not
Right.
motivated to do something, I won't do it. But if
Hmm.
I'm
Hmm.
passionate about it and ambitious about it, I will
Hmm.
do it, and I will bring it to a successful end. And that's who I am. So that's
Yeah.
why I can be working like 20 hours a day and I don't feel really exhausted. I do feel exhausted. I'm not working on batteries or something like that. No,
Yeah.
I do drink my Red Bulls, but even after Red Bulls, at some point you do get exhausted. So
Yeah.
it is like just keeping the good vibes in it and having the ambition that I'm going to reach where I want to reach and
Yeah.
not to give up. If I give up, I've lost it all. So I won't.
Yeah. That's a bold step move that you should always share, man. It's gonna resonate with a lot of people, not just because not everybody can do it, but it kind of comes down to, when the signs are there. The signs are there as in if you're not in the place where you're flourishing, you're probably going to have to come up with a plan, and whether that plan is sudden or gradual, to really get you into the place where you can, grow, you have studied for, and you can actually be elevated to what you really deserve. So I kind of like that story. I kind of like that bold step that you made. It's so radical, and I think that even though not everybody could do it as sudden, that it should kind of give us the message that, hey, if your senses, if your voice is telling you, nah, this ain't it, then it's probably not it.
It
Yeah.
isn't. It isn't. So, you need to be kind to yourself as well. You just live
Yeah.
once.
Yeah.
Sometimes you just need to try it out. And if it doesn't work out, it hasn't worked out. But even then, you can try it again.
Yeah. Gotcha.
If you still believe in it and maybe you know what the error was the first time you were trying it.
Yeah.
To be honest,
Gotcha.
it wasn't the first time I registered for a company. I registered after my divorce as well, but it didn't work out because I didn't knew what I really want. So I just wrote out my business and I was working again. But
Yeah.
that it was making me happy, but I didn't have a choice because I didn't knew what the direction was for myself. So it took me like 3 years to open the same company with the same name. Only this time around, I'm a firm.
Right.
So know, defeat is not something that you need to take in that
Mm.
seriously. You know, you can always rise up again. Defeat
Yeah,
is not the end of you.
gotcha.
It's just your worries in sometimes.
Yeah. Absolutely. On that note, really by next week, people can find your book online and they can actually get some of that knowledge that you have. I believe it's the start of many things that you will make available. But right before we almost round up, where can people find you? Because I'm sure that aside of you being a consultant, knowing what to do in terms of governance and administration, finance, and all of that. Where can people find you? Where can they reach you? Where could they have even an appointment with you? What is the setup like in this current lockdown? Could you share that with us?
So with a lockdown, I'm quite flexible. It is how you want it to be. So if you want it
Yeah,
through Zoom, you can just call me on my business line, or you can send me an email, or just visit my website and make an appointment through there. Or you can
yeah,
even contact me on social media. I reply to all channels.
right.
And then we can do it through Zoom, or you want to come on office, it's only on appointment based, and we are going to take the precautions very serious. So you need to come with a mouth mask, 1.5 distance, no greeting, no hugging, nothing. So yes, that's what we all do. Or we can also do it if you don't want any Zoom and you want to do it by phone, that's also possible. So
Yeah.
easily get my contact details on www.meverlyadjheibenjamin.com, or call me on 0687278428
Yeah.
and a mail.
Great. Any last words for the dreamers out there? I particularly call them the dreamers because you touch a lot on having vision, planning, governing what you do. What are your last word for somebody's out there who's also contemplating, hey, setting up that business or writing that particular book? What would be your words to her or him?
You know, just don't be a dreamer, but also be a doer. You can be dreaming your whole life, but if you don't put that bold step out, you'll be 67 and you haven't achieved what you really want. So
Yeah,
just put the bold step out. I did it. It worked out well for me.
yeah,
So you can do it as well, because you can take me as an example. And believe me, I've been through hell and out. So just do it. Yeah.
I love that. I love that. Very straightforward. All right. Well, for those of you who want more info, you can find more about Meverly Adjhei Benjamin via www.meverlyadjheibenjamin.com on all the social media platforms. And for those of you who stopped by watching, shout out to you. Of course, if you catch the recap of this, feel free to share, feel free to tag and all of that away. And you can find this, of course, on Meverly Adjhei Benjamin's Facebook page and her YouTube. And look out for more because more is coming. There might be some relevant tips that Meverly might give away. Who knows on her social platforms. Thank you for this time. I know Meverly, you have a lot to do. So let's call this within the hour and just call this a good Meverly Adjhei Benjamin talk.
Thank you so much.
Um, by the way, also, you have a podcast. Could you tell people a bit about your podcast, what they can find on there? And yeah,
Yeah, on my podcast, I most often give free advice upon things currently going on in the Netherlands, UK, in the Luxembourg, the area like the Netherlands, Belgium,
sure.
Germany. Yeah, the Benelux, as they call it. I give advice on what's happening or how you can succeed in certain things, or what the government is trying to do and stuff. So on the podcast, I talk about migration matters. I talk about finance, how to manage your life, talk about housing, how to buy a house. If you don't have the money to pay for a consult, in my short podcast, I give some free tips on how to do it. And if you need more advice upon how to do it, then you can always call me to book a consultation hour with me. So, but
Right.
podcast is quite helping a lot of people. I
Yeah.
do hear that, especially on the housing and the migration matters, because a
Yeah.
housing problem in the Netherlands is huge. So,
Yeah.
how can they still purchase a house without overpaying and stuff? So it has been a lot of help for people. So do look out for the podcast if you need free advice or you need a tip or you don't have anything to do with this lockdown after 9 o'clock, everybody's home. So please do feel free and listen to my
Yeah.
podcast.
Got it. All right. Well, thanks again, Meverly. Have the best of day, of course, and best of evening. We will be catching up soon. And of course, to everybody else who's watching, make sure that you follow all the links that are in the comment box so that you can stay informed about what Meverly Adjhei Benjamin is up to. All right. Have a good evening.
You too.
Bye
Thank
bye.
you very much. Bye bye.
Bye.